Hello everyone, my name is Natalia from Visayas 2B and I will be discussing the Chapter 3, Section 2, Contract of Labor. So let's start first with the Article 1700. Labor contracts are not just an agreement between employers and workers. They are influenced by public interest. This means these contracts must follow laws that protect workers' rights such as labor unions, minimum wage laws, safe working conditions, work hours, and benefits. Like, for example, if an employer tries to pay a worker less than the minimum wage, labor laws will make sure that the workers get their fair wage. The next one, Article 1701. The law prevents exploitation by ensuring that neither employers nor workers take advantage of each other. Like, for example, if an employer makes workers work overtime without paying extra and vice versa, if the workers intentionally fail to do their jobs. This article ensures that both of them must act with respect and fairness to each other. Article 1702 states that any unclear terms in contracts or laws should be decided in a way that protects the workers. Kasi yung mga workers, they often have less power than the employers, and usually yung mga employers is inaabuso din nila yung influence na meron sila. So, the law provides extra protection to ensure that the workers are not taken advantage of. Like, for example, if the workers' contract says they must work in reasonable hours, but hindi naman in-specify doon kung ilang oras talaga, and bigla na lang nag-decide yung employer na pagtrabahuin sila ng 12 hours daily. So dito, mas papaboran nung law yung mga workers para maprotektahan sila from excessive work hours. The next one is Article 1703. It states that no labor contract can force someone to work under unfair conditions, which would result to involuntary servitude. This law protects the workers from being exploited or forced into situations kung saan they are being deprived na of their basic right. Like, in some cases kasi, diba, napapangakuan yung mga workers ng mataas na salaries dun sa job na yun sa mga foreign countries. And once na nag-arrive na sila dun, the employer will hold their passport and sasabihin sa kanila na hindi sila pwedeng umalis unless magbayad sila ng fee. So because of that, they will be forced to work long hours in poor conditions without the freedom to leave. Mako-consider dito na yung contract is magiging invalid due to coercion. So yung worker is meron silang right na umalis and mag-seek ng compensation sa employer. Next, Article 1704. When workers through their unions or representatives negotiate a contract with their employer, the union is responsible for ensuring the terms of that agreements are followed. If a union or workers' representative fail to enforce the contract terms, they can be held accountable for not fulfilling their part of the agreement. Kasi diba, dapat yung mga unions is pinipressure nila yung employer or nagpa-file sila ng complaints or take legal action para i-make sure na nagko-comply yung company dun sa pinag-agreehan nila. Like, for example, nakipag-negotiate yung union ng 10% wage increase dun sa employer and pumayag naman si employer. Then, the contract is signed pero yung employer hindi niya ini-implement yung wage increase dun sa mga workers. So, dito magiging responsible yung union na i-ensure na na-applied yung increase in wage sa mga workers. If walang ginawa yung union para i-ensure na sumusunod yung employers, sila yung magiging responsible or magiging accountable doon. Then, Article 1705 requires that the employers must pay the employees in the official currency of the country. Meaning, yung pera na babayaran nila is dapat legally recognized and it can be used in everyday transactions. Hindi pwedeng i-substitute ng employer yung legal currency with non-monetary terms such as gift cards, company vouchers, kasi not all places will accept them. And hindi sila ganun kadali gamitin for regular transactions unlike sa cash. And Article 1706, it states that the employers cannot delay payment of wage unless there is a valid reason to do so. For example, if yung worker is responsible siya sa operating machinery and aksidente niya na nasira yung piece ng equipment. So, etong employer is nag-decide siya na i-deduct yung cost ng damage dun sa wage ng worker. And if there was an agreement between them na yung worker nga is yung magiging responsible for the damage, then withholding of wage is justified. However, if wala namang agreement na nag-exist, the employer cannot withhold wage just because of the damage. The employer can only withhold wages if meron silang clear agreed upon reason ng employee. So without this agreement, withholding wage is illegal.
Good day everyone, my name is Maria Cristal Dalara and I'm going to tackle about the continuation of the Section 2 Contract of Labor. So in the Article 1707, it is all about the laborer's wages as a liem. So in this article, yung worker or yung isang employee's salary must be paid first before any payment for the goods that they produced or the services that they performed. For example, yung isang mananahe sa isang small tailoring shop na gumagawa ng mga custom dresses para sa mga clients nila. So, before yung shop owner gamitin yung payment ng mga clients na yun or ng mga customer nila sa expenses ng shop nila, for example, utilities, rent, ganun, they must ensure na yung mga mananahe or yung mga seamstress is paid for their wages. So, in the Article 1708, it is all about the protection of wages from execution or attachment. So, in this article, yung workers or yung salary ng isang employee is cannot be taken away to pay debts. Pero, as long as yung utang na yon is ginamit for basic needs, like for example, food, shelter, clothing, or medical bills. For example, kung isang employee is nangutang siya sa isang lender, but yung inutang niya is ginamit niya to buy groceries, we know that groceries are foods, ganun. So, the lender may deduct part of the employee's salary to pay the debt. However, if yung debt na yon is ginamit niya to buy non-essential items, for example, gadgets, yung lender cannot size or deduct the salary. The Article 1709, it is all about the employer cannot take workers' tools. So, in this article, employers cannot confiscate tools or belongings of their workers. So, sa isang scenario, isang carpenter na nag-work for a contractor is ginagamit yung sarili niyang tools, for example, hammer and measuring tape. Even if the carpenter owes the contractor money, the contractor cannot take these tools as a payment. Article 1710, or it is all about the government supervision of dismissal. So, dito sa article na to, the government monitors how employees are dismissed to ensure fairness and compliance with labor laws. For example, a factory worker is fired without due process or without no prior notice, basta pagdating na sa trabaho tinanggal siya agad. Yung worker na yan can file a complaint with the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE, which will investigate if the dismissal was lawful. Article 1711, it is all about the employer's liability for workplace injuries or death. So, in this article, employers must compensate workers or employees for injuries or death that happen because of their job, even it was an accident. But, employers are not liable if yung injury na yon was caused mismo by the worker's reckless actions or drunkenness. For example, a construction worker is nahulog siya and nabali yung legs niya, or dahil doon sa paghulog niya is nag-cause yun ng broken leg. yung employer na yon must cover medical expenses and dapat mag-provide siya ng compensation as the injury occurred during work. But, if yung worker na yon is lasing and yun yung nagpa-cause ng accident, the employer may not be liable. And the Article 172, it is all about the liability for fellow workers' negligence or malice. So in this article, if yung isang employee is na-injure siya or killed due to co-worker's negligence, both sila ng co-worker and also the employer are responsible for compensating the victim. But if the co-worker intentionally caused harm, the employer is only liable if they failed to supervise or select employees properly. For example, a jeepney mechanic is injured because yung isang other mechanic is accidentally mishandled a tool. Both the negligent mechanic and also the jeepney operator must compensate the injured worker. If the injury was caused intentionally by the coworker, the operator is only liable if they failed to screen or monitor the employees. That's all, and thank you for listening.